Hello and welcome everybody out there watching. It is time tonight for Snetterton. It's the eSeniors, it's Group 1, it's some promising race action on this British speedster of a track. Brought to you by SimSport Solutions out here. My name is Niklas Kraus. I'll be commentating this wonderful event for you, just as I have been for the last couple of weeks. It's a wonderful pack out there. Last time around, we saw a very interesting race with a run up at the front. Once again, Peter Wolfslehner winning at Oulton Park ahead of Derek Bird. Then third was Carlo van Brabant, and these two drivers in finishing second and third are in the Porsche 911. So chances are they're going to have a very good time here. Snetterton, you see it in the background there. It has lots of traction zones, lots of difficult driving, and I'm sure we're going to see a wonderful fight up at the front here once again. We've had Peter Wolfslehner in that number 196 complaining about the track all week that it doesn't suit him at all, he said to me as well. So I'm very interested to see what kind of pace we are going to see up at the front. I personally think we're going to see some 46, 47, 48, right around there in terms of race pace. I think it's going to be quite a close one up at the front, because overtaking certainly is quite difficult if you're going around Snetterton here. So bringing it up for you, let's have a look at the championship table. I already mentioned it. Peter Wolfslehner, look at that. Only in Donington Park he was touchable at all. And once again, it's 4 British tracks here, all 4 British tracks in a row. So after Donington, Brands and Oulton, now it's time for Snetterton in that British DLC. He's leading significantly with a total of 197 points. That's exactly 1 point too much to fit his car number. Just as a little side fact I noticed earlier when looking at this table. And then in second position, Derek Bird. He just got ahead of Lars Eklund, who was ahead of him quite a little bit last time around, until Oulton Park come around, and he managed to get himself in second position. Derek Bird there with a very nice finish for Oulton Park. Then in the middle here, Andrea Caiola didn't attend last time around, so that's sent him back the timing tables here quite a little bit. He's currently in fourth position, but hasn't attended on 2 of the races, otherwise finishing with quite commendable positions. So I'm sure we're going to see him try and bring up his best tonight. Jürgen Walby right now in as a shared 4th position with him. So we're now looking to head on over to qualifying. It's 8 p.m. here where I live in Germany. It's right around the afternoon for the eSeniors from where you are watching. So let me just quickly hold on. There we go. Getting ahead of myself a little bit with that extra intro. So our driver's now heading out on track. I'm preparing everything so you can have a look. It's wonderful that you lads are joining me here tonight. Looking forward to an absolute cracker of a qualifying, because this track with the 30 minutes that the drivers have to set a time, so they can certainly try and extract any and everything that they can find around here. Getting myself the track map on open as well, so I can give you a little more insight on the different corner names. Chances are one of them is going to be called Druids, and it's one of the most common corner names really in the British tracks here. So Snetterton, let's get that on up with the corner names. Corner report is coming right on up for myself. So are we seeing looks like there's actually no such thing. Obviously we have the bomb hole, that's the one turn that I remember, and we also have a Murray's corner. Very nice that is. Let's bring that up on a second tab so I can have a look while we're getting ourselves ready. A couple of drivers still in the pit lane right now, for example Michael Benchaya. And another little something I definitely want to mention before we are jumping into the action here for you. So we have a new member in this Group 1, and that AMG, it's Rudolf Stein in the Renault Racing number 14, showing us the debut after being dominating in Group 2 last time round. Let's bring him up on screen for you, shall we? There he is. There he is. Rudolf Stein, in that AMG of his, was flying last time round in Group 2 and he got the instant promotion. It's the sort of driving he needs to show tonight. See if he can bang wheels with some of the front runners we've had the pleasure of watching for the past races here. So tonight, obviously, Snetterton is a very difficult one if you want to get it right. For example, this corner right there, that's the Nelson turn. You see him taking it very liberally there on the exit. Now into the bomb hole. Let's actually use this opportunity to go through one lap here with Rudolf Stein on board in his debut race. How about that? Let's bring it up. Go onto... It's a little rough around the edges there. Let's jump on board here and get everything else out of the way so we can just focus exactly on this lap. There we have it. Get that faded out for us. So into turn 1 here, that's this fast right-hander, third gear. You want to really push it into the ridges there. Now down into Montreal turn, and we see it with a cute little tree. It's a very infamous one. So we are jumping into first gear here, looking to find the traction on exit. Now pulling up the gears as we're going into Palmer. This is fast sweeping left-hander, second gear that is for you, as he doesn't quite find the inside apex he was hoping for. Now up in the run to Agostini. That should be turn 4 for us here as we're heading into the braking zone. First gear once again, lots of hairpins, lots of potential overtaking to happen around here. At least in this first sector it's quite possible to get something going. Otherwise it's mostly single file here really, as we're now finding our braking point up into Augie's. That prepares us for the Williams right-hander. It's what's happening in just 1 second. You're using all the track on the entry and trying to get on the power without getting that sort of oversteer. Managed to do so just nicely, and on the Bentley straight we find ourselves climbing the gears up to 250 perhaps, if we can get it just right before braking. There we go, 250 exactly on the dot, and brakes holding them. Brundle, now Nelson, it's turn 11 for you. So we're now up into the bomb hole, right hand, just drop the car in there, hope that it sticks, and it does this time around. He's now into Coram. Such a difficult corner. He's going a little wide there as he bringing it back around now into Murray's. That's the final turn of the track. That is one lap right there for you. Let's bring up the broadcasting for you as well. There you go. Let's see what kind of time it is. Coming across the lines of 149.7. That's only enough for P10 at the moment. But not to worry. There's still plenty here. Ample opportunity here for him to move up the order here. So there you go, Rudolf Stein. It's trying to sneak a little screen time there. The number 69 Aston of Paunov. It's a cheeky one now, isn't it? A couple of drivers missing the race. Willie Owens, for example. Oh no, actually, he's just saying that Andrew, who is forced to miss a couple of races here in the chat, will be missed indeed. And very much so. So I'm trying to bring everything together. It looks like I might have to have a quick technical intermission. Get everything going for you once again. So let's go ahead and do that. So we are getting ourselves set up, qualifying 25 minutes still in the session here, and I'm sure that the drivers are very well aware of the sort of approach you really want to take in this Group 1 qualifying. You want to obviously push, but only once you've established a foundation here in terms of the overall pace. So let's bring it back on up there. Here we go. Getting ourselves ready. Peter Wolfslehner is leading at the moment, actually. I'm going to use this opportunity and bring him right on center screen for you. He's currently fastest with a 47.2, which is about 2/10 quicker than Kayola, and it looks like he still has lots of room to improve. Currently 5/10 up as he's heading down the Bentley straight and into this very difficult sweeping section. That's Brundle and then Nelson. It's super tough to get it right. Gotta spot the braking point and keep it tidy. Don't push it too much because otherwise you're going to end up very wide. He does so super neatly. That means he's going to be carrying even more speed into the bomb hole, and now 4th to 3rd in the lead lap, number 196 here. Carlo Vanderband then goes fastest for the moment. Let's see if he's gonna be pushed out away from that temporary pole spot, because Peter is on an absolute flyer right now, coming across the line. Looks like he will improve, and so he does. 46.8, that's the first 46 and 4/10 quicker as well than Vanderband and Kayola chasing. Bywater here, Neil Bywater also doing absolutely fantastic. And that number 38 Porsche, where he decides to go for a new set of slicks here. David Noble about to come across the line, currently 10th fastest, and jumps to P6 here in that Ultima Racing number 2. Jonathan Wood as well, already finished the lap and currently in the first sector here. That's the tight right-hander, which is Montreal, and now into Palmer. He will go in that 71 Porsche of his. Very respectable time at the moment. Quickly get everything ready for the race start here. I hope you're having a fantastic old time with me. A bit of nice improvement here there, 23. Also fairly deep into the lap here for Peter de Jong. So we're chasing him in this second sector. He's currently 8/10 up. That would be a massive improvement for him in terms of the times. But we'll keep on following that. Alistair Hughes also had some ups and downs last time around, last Sunday. He's looking to qualify a little further up ahead, currently in 17th with 4 seconds off the pace. I was told by Wolfsley that he would be the Bentley benchmark, but let's see what he can do, because it's already 9 minutes in. Vanderband did get the improvement to a 47.010. It's only enough for second. And it looks like so far Peter still has the nose ahead on anyone. And then Peter de Jong is check on out the TV2 cam, wide sweeping right, and you see how long this turn gets, and it goes and it goes and it keeps on going before you slamming on the brakes here for the final turn for Murray's corner. And now comes across the line. Peter de Jong is looking to improve quite a bit from 15th. He jumps to P13 there, slots in just behind Craig Holmes. Now a couple of cars still coming across the line here. 56 of Steve Justice, the Lotus Steve. No improvement yet, but he's sure to make some quick work of it. Second sector right now for Carlo Vanderband. We're seeing a couple of improvements. I think the 109 is also on an absolute flyer right now. I just missed it. Craig Holmes, the car I'm looking for. There he is. Saint Osina Bentley. That's your number 109, jumping to 8th position. Very, very tightly behind your position 2 driver on the overall score sheet, Derek Bird. And that's 701 of his. It's a very close second right now. Carlo Vanderband, however, in the Team West Coast. If that wasn't too wide and invalid, I think he might have a nice improvement here. Let's see what time he brings across the line. He lost it all on the final turn, actually. It wasn't a flying lap, and that would have been enough to topple Wolfslaner, but he'll have to try again to bring that sort of time home. Now, number 12 car of Dimitri Statis. Right now, fastest lap 49.7 coming across the line. No improvement this time around, and same probably goes for David Noble, as he's now going on to the next flying lap of his. Track is still fast, and with that the conditions are about to improve over time quite naturally. Quick follow-up here. Derek Bird, we already talked about him a little bit. He's second in the championship and looking to also follow that up with a qualifying result of his. He definitely lost some time there in the final turn of Murray's. Now coming across the line, let's see if he can get himself a nice improvement. He does so, jumps to 4th and makes it a row 2 and onward lockout. 4 Porsches in the top 5. We're then chasing here the RF Corse of Alessandro Diamante. Also a little bit of time in the back that would be enough to get himself into the top 10 if that is valid. Alessandro Diamante now coming across the line. It jumps to P10 just on the spot enough to get ahead of Chris Baker here. That's exactly what he was hoping for. Number 69 car driver Piers Paunov here as well. Just cleared the bomb hole a couple of seconds ago and is looking to put that Aston right on into the top 10 as well, potentially, if you can carry this sort of momentum around and into the final turn here. He goes. So we are 17 minutes in. Actually 13 minutes in this qualification session. Wolfsliner still leading quite somewhat comfortably with the 10th, and there's a nice improvement. Paunov then clearing Peter de Jong from the Netherlands and sets himself up for a position 14. Not sure if he'll be all too happy with that, but it's certainly a decent result as we are checking in here in the helicam for Ferrari number 51 driver Alessandro Diamante once again. Looks like he's finding more and more time as the session continues, and maybe some of you lads in the chat can help me clear this one up, figure it out, because I'm a little confused as to why some of the cars actually not leaving the pit lane. Walby, Arobas and Benchaya, for example, you see them there at the bottom of the timetable. Right. Dave missing out, not enough practice tonight. That is fine. Want to get it a good run through here. So if you're not feeling confident, it's all about having some fun tonight. Alessandro coming across the line. He's got 3/10s, and that is enough for P7. It's very close behind Neil Bywater there as he's coming across the line. We've been chasing him for a little bit, and another car I already talked about earlier, number 196 driver there going to a flying lap. That is Peter Wolfsliner out there, and he actually did improve once again. Let's have a look. 46.7. That's your fastest lap so far, and it's just able to increase the gap a little bit. We missed how Caiola actually jumped in between the Porsches there with a 47.3 of his. It's a very respectable pace there. Quick check up here. Alistair Hughes is about to come across the line here on an absolute flying lap. Should be enough for him to jump a couple of positions. Coming across the line then, Allen line, number 16 driver Alistair goes 14th fastest. Lost a little bit of time in the final sector here actually, by the looks of it. But that's fine and absolutely alright. So let me quickly follow up here in the chat. Yeah, some of the drivers still in the pits. Not sure what's happening in that regard, but I'm sure we get it figured out eventually. KB Smith then here. Final sector for the number 488 version 3.4.5.6.7.8. What a mouthful that car name is. The 555, let's just call him that. Coming across the line, 13th fastest and manages 8th with a 47.8. That is very close here. Look at that. Neil Bywater 1 second off the pace, and then there's, well, how many cars is that? Jeez. That's Diamante also with an improvement right on there. It's a big gap between the guys up at the front. Is Wolfsley now once again going fastest, 46.5. That's purple lap for the Ferrari, who supposedly doesn't like this track at all. It seems like he managed just fine though. So up at the front here, we're seeing Peter Wolfsliner then in second, close and chasing at this halfway point of qualification. Carlo Van Brabant in the number 14 West Coast is currently second and apparently warming up his tires after didn't quite get the flyer he was looking for. Now third in the pack is actually Caiola, but I seem to not be able to quite access his car, so we're checking in with Derek Bird, who's fourth at the moment. Jonathan Wood then climbing up and around the second sector here. That's the number 71 car. It's the Porsche sent off screen for you. And Diamante also in the pits with the 47.6, fastest lap for him last time around. Then Neil Bywater 7th, where KB Smith is currently 8th. We already followed up with him a little bit now. Alistair Hughes here, 9th. Still finding time all around the track. That could be enough for a top 4 if he can carry the Delta across the line. Craig Holmes then rounds up our top 10 with the 2 Bentleys just ahead of the 2 AMGs on the field. And the Porsches are doing mighty fine here. They are certainly onto something. They must have got their setup just figured out. Quick check up here with Alistair Hughes, who's now rounding out the 2nd sector. Peter David in the first corner, scared. How are you doing? Rogerio does not seem to be here tonight. But we've got plenty of action still. Let's see if they could compete up at the front. Looks like Alistair lost a lot of time on the exit there onto the Bentley straight, and he's definitely lost something there. The rear end, that's for sure. So he'll probably have to abandon this attempt, add a flying lap, and go for something next time. Where was I then? David Noble right now, 11th. That's the Ultima Racing number 2. It's about 1.3 seconds off, but off the pace of the leader, but only 1/10 would be enough for him to jump 3 places right on here. Rudolf Stein then in the debut currently finds himself in the 12th position right now in qualification, so very respectable time at that. He might want to push a little harder if he wants to get in that top 10 range here tonight. Tony Whitten then in the Haybound Racing 55 is currently in a respectable 3rd position, but 1.5 seconds off the pace. Chris Baker is 14th in the Rotec Racing right now in the pit lane. Maybe he'll head out once again. Mers Paunov in the NKD 69. Peter de Jong here, 16th fastest in the number 23, where Terry Trowbridge is about 2.4 seconds off the pace in that number 97 Aston. Center of screen for you. It's currently with a 149.0. With an improvement for him last time around. That's going to be 17 ahead of Dimitri Status in the Sim Racing Montreal Ferrari. He is currently on the out lap, looking to get himself further up the grid here, where Steve GB Justice in the Lotus Steve 56 goes sideways then quite significantly through that fast sweeping right hand of Richards. Wow, okay. It's actually going to stop the car there and look to chase once again once he's got himself a fresh set of socks, because he is looking to get him that time down. 150.4 is probably actually 149.6 is probably not quite where he wants to be, but such a competitive pace. We've seen Carlo Vanderband improve to a 46.7 there. We're getting closer and closer to that magic marker, which is Peter Wolfslener's 46.5, currently fastest lap out on track. So follow here Neil Bywater on this final sector through the bump hole. He's already gone, and he's just got 2 more corners to clear. Fast sweeping right hander of Curran now into Murray's. At braking zone is very tough to spot and get it right. He goes a little wide on the exit. It's certainly bumpy, but it won't stop him from improving. Neil Bywater then in the 38, coming across the line from 7th. He goes 3rd fastest with 47.2. That's a big step up for him. So he pushes Kayola down onto 4th place. Now, what I want to showcase here, if you look very closely in the bottom right, Carlo, last lap 46.716, where that is 0.006 off his personal fastest. So he's got some absolute consistency. He hasn't quite found the pace he needs for a pole position here, but you can see he's certainly pushing. And then checking in with the number 12 car a little further ahead on the track here. It's the Sim Racing Montreal of Dimitri Statis, looking to spot the braking zone. Looks like he'll do just fine, using lots of the track there on the exit. That nets him another 10th. Just dropping in there into that bump hole. That's a big dip in the track. and he manages to do so just nicely. Currently 4-5 tenths up. That would mean he's jumping Peter de Jong potentially here. If he can carry that across the line, let's see what he does on the final turn. Keeps it mostly tight and is looking to come across the line with a nice improvement here. Dimitri Stratis then goes 16th quickest in Group 1 for now. He's got 7 minutes if he wants to give it another go, but chances are it's going to be very tough for him. You see him riding off there. He's probably at the limit already. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next. So now, in the front, lead lap esports racing senior Peter Wolfslehner is out for his next flying lap. He doesn't have much of a gap. 1.4 seconds is currently the delta pace between him and Carlo. And the track is getting quicker and quicker by the minute, so he'll probably look to set something up. KB Smith there, we barely missed it, as the Ferrari only now sent off screen for you. Jumped into 8th place. David Noble also on a decent attempt here. Last time around he improved to P9. So let me quickly bring this on up. And Alessandro Diamante also got himself a nice qualification effort now that he's closed down the gap to 1.1 second and is right on there in 7th place. Let me try and get all this figured out for you. So this is currently one of the earliest cars about to cross the line. Looks like Noble did lose lots of the delta gain though, but let's have a quick check on board here in this dash cam. So we're now going down the gears and about to drop the car in. Track is only now considered optimum officially. Big dip there. Let's actually bring up the front splitter cam here. There you go, now down the gears, and look how the tires are squealing. You can hear it there in the distance. That's going to cost him some time. He definitely lost the traction there, and coming across the line, doesn't look like David is about to improve on his PB. 47.9, that's not quite enough to go 8th quickest. So Peter de Jong here in the number 23 car, also on an absolute flyer of a lap. Derek Bird, however, is a little closer to start finish. I recognize also in the second sector here, up and down, and it looks like Derek will abandon his lap there. Peter Wolfslehner, however, found 2 tenths on the exit there. Something to definitely keep in mind. Number 23 driver Peter de Jong is also about to come across the line. Let's see if we got any improvements. Not too many, only some minor ones. Definitely feels very tight around P9 here. You can see Diamante 1.1, Smith 1.1, 1.2 for Noble off the pace, and 1.3 for both the Bentley number 16 and 109 by Hughes and Holmes. It's fairly tight there in this mid-pack, as we are used to such close racing at this point already. These guys are definitely putting on a show for us. Let's have a quick follow-up here. Peter de Jong found a lot of time there from 17 to P12 in the Pink Pig. Makes it happen. There's only 1.4 off the pace as he completely spins the car sideways. He's certainly pushing it to its limits and then some. So a brief follow-up here. Diamante still 7th quickest, looking to improve. Wolfslehner also about to come across the line in just 1 hot minute. Looks like he's about on the same pace as his previous fastest. So let's have a look if he can improve here. Currently leader of the bunch. Now coming across the line is just shy of improving. 46.8 was the last lap for him. And just having a look how consistently he can drive so quick is it's just frightening really at this point. Yeah, next week Father's Day could certainly mean a couple of drivers dropping out. And have a quick look around. Mr. Walby here. Yeah, looks like Walby is also not here tonight. He was doing just fine. 3rd place right now in the championship, third or fourth. Either one or the two. He's doing mighty fine, but if he can't show up, that's certainly gonna cost him a little bit over the long haul. It's quick follow-up here with Paunov in the 69, about to come across the line, and he's found a lot of time now. That is a chain of rhymes as he sets himself for 8th place there. It's a 47.7. Very nice improvement by the Aston driver here. And that certainly could be enough to set himself up for a very, very strong start to the race here. Super close at the front, so the sort of pace we're going here is a 46.5 at the front. That's Wolflehner currently with the fastest lap, but his empire might be toppled because Carlo actually right now in this second sector has found 1 or 2 tenths, which should be enough for him to make something happen here. Alistair Hughes also certainly on a flyer. Let's see where he is in terms of the lap. Looks like he's a little further down. Oh, it's a big... Let's go back 10 seconds and have a quick look what happened there to the Bentley. And around he goes, hits the tire, and then he's going to be jumping the curb quite massively. Didn't quite see it from that end, but it's certainly a big hit on the confidence of Alistair there. Looks like Carlo caught in the yellow flags. They had to slow down a little bit. That's cost him the time, and he's only going to have one more qualification attempt here for the next run when he comes around. So very tight here, up at the front. Thank you all so much for joining me here. 3 seconds quicker than your personal best. Yeah, he's certainly on a different level, that's for sure. But if there's one lad to top him, that has to be your new leader. Actually, I can't go to him. Let me try and get this in. There you go, Andrea Caiola. He is your new pole position setter. How about that? He was missing out last time around. Now Andrea is absolutely back with it, because look at that. He didn't want to attend Oldham Park, or when perhaps also he couldn't, but chances are he would have been very good competition for the leader of the bunch. He set a 46.4, which is almost a tenth quicker than the Ferrari of Wolflehner. There isn't much time in this quali yet. Carlo as well on a very good lap. He's currently in the second sector and using all of the track there on the outside. That might cost him in the long haul, however. Number 55 car also fairly close now, coming across the line. Let's see what Tony Whitten can do. He's currently sitting in P15 with a 48.0. Looks like there's no improvement. And he still has one final attempt here. Number 109 car, Craig Holmes, also just now coming across the line to start the last flying lap of his session here. It's very tight. Looks like David Noble. Either he's on an invalid lap or he's on an absolute flyer. No, that has been invalid. A 45.6 would have been mental by him there. Derek Bird definitely pushing as well. He lost the rear end there a little bit, but I want to check up with Peter Wolfslehner. He's found a little bit of motivation, I feel like, because he is currently sitting in second. He'll look to improve to get a front run this time around, but chances are that won't be very easy here at all. So with some last minute efforts, Paunov also went from 15th to 8th position, just barely missed that. And now it's flying checkered flags for this session, this qualifying session about to come to an end. It's only a couple of cars still out there on track who are looking to improve. Most importantly, it's for their front run, where Peter still has to find 800ths of a second. Let's actually jump on board here, see if he can get this final section. He's losing a little bit of grip there, putting it back on the power, and that's very slidey through there. Let's see if he can carry it across the line using all the track on the exit. And he's probably going to duck down with his head, reduce the aero resistance. But is it going to be enough? He's coming across. No, it will not. No improvement there for Wolfslehner, who is going to have to be content with position 2, second row on first row on the grid, but not the P1, as Tony Whitten squeezes out a few more tens here and gets himself set up for P12 then. What a close qualifying here up at the front. How about that? That was super tight for the front. So Kayola in the 67 Aston will be leading the grid here tonight. That means he's got a very realistic chance of making something happen in terms of potentially even winning this race here. The number 196 Ferrari of Wolfslina obviously is going to be in a great position to strike back in that second spot, but regardless of that, it's such a narrow track, it's going to be super hard to get past. Yeah, Tony with the high ping certainly in the Hailbahn Racing 55, he's got himself that red bar nice and snug. He's got that secured, that's for sure. Alright, let's bring up the run here in the front of the grid. About a minute to go live here. I'm looking to bring this race to you just on a silver platter. I hope you've had a fantastic weekend so far. I certainly have. And let's go on for this 45-minute race. We are on the grid right there, and we're looking to let me get this figured out and moving. Come on then. There we go. It's complaining a little bit, my software to do. Let me do the grid walks. How about this? Is this gonna work? Yes, it is. How lovely is that? So Kayola P1 with a last-minute effort ahead of Wolfslane and this 30-minute qualifying. Engine's already starting to rumble. 4 Porsches then. First of the bunch is Vanderbrand, then Bywater in the 38. It's Wood next to Bird on the 3rd row of the grid. Diamante squeezed in 7th. Second Aston on the grid is Paunov. Then it's Asda Hughes in P9. Smith is 10th. Next to him, Noble 11th, where Witten is P12 for us. Holmes in the 109 Bentley, then De Jong, then Stain, Baker, Startis, Trowbridge, Justice, Walby, and then there's 2 cars in the pit lane. So those are the 20 drivers here who are now about to head into the first couple of turns for this Snetterton 45 minutes. It's round number 6 here for the eSeniors League. I hope we're going to have a fantastic race here. It's going to be an absolute banger of a race, I'm sure of that. 26 degrees out on tracks. We're now heading to said track side, getting ready for the green light. Get the TV2 cam rolling for the grid here, as we are now, not quite, it's a long run, isn't it? So we're now racing green light, and wait, there's immediate contact there in the background. Somebody moving to the left side right away as we're chasing into T1. Very good start by the Porsches here as well. Wolfslina got the run on Kayola right away, where Vanderbrand is also dropping back quite a little bit. So Kayola losing the first spot right away with a not so fantastic start. Looks like the two side by side here between Craig Holmes and Witten as still an absolute thing, as we're now heading to the hill to the inside there. Looked for a move Rudolf Stain, but realized there was still a car there most of all. So very tight bunch here up at the front, where Wolfslina got the run as there's contact between Vanderbrand and Bywater, who's forced out of the way and then spins it, of all things. Very rough in between these two. Not much room given. Oh, there's another spin. Diamante gets collected by Muspanov there. He's now 180 degrees to where he wants to be looking at during the track. So lots of contact, lots of early mistakes, and drivers now 3 wide. Oh, that's bound to happen if that is where you're looking at. Hot damn, is the Ferrari. I think that might have been Witten forced wide there. Very close still here up at the front. Don't want to miss the action, because there is apparently Vanderbrand with the big collection early in his race. Not quite the way he wanted it to go down. Craig Holmes finds himself in 9th. So what has happened on this first lap? Vanderbrand, Witten, Bywater and Diamante all collected, and that's a very rough start to their races respectively. Then I gotta have a quick breather after that one. It's a very tight race here up at the front end. Wursliner now coming across the line for the first time is still leading. It's a very tight fight here in between Startis, who apparently has dropped back quite a little bit. Now down the order behind Justice, who also lost some positions here. It seems we're now into lap 2. Let's go down the order in just a second here. This trio of Ferraris, very close and feisty, that's for sure. Up here in the front near Bywater was a lot further up ahead the grid not too long ago. He started in 4th place and is now way down the order in 11th, looking to get past Tony Witten, who started in 12th here tonight. It's not quite the cleanest of all race stars. Lots of avoidable contact, I feel like. Houghton in Texas, really enjoy the commentary work. Thank you very much. Glad to be hearing that. I'm giving my all, and these drivers are sure as just as much, because you see how much they're pushing here for us. Neil Bywater then potentially with a move now along the Bentley straight. He set himself up quite well to get past Tony Witten here. I'm going to bring up the delta so you see how close it is up at the front. We see him very wide there. Witten to the outside then, side by side with Bywater. It's going to be super tough to get a move done here though. He's still on his outside looking to get a move, and that's really not the place. He's going to have to back out of it. See if there's a little something happening up at the front. Alistair Hughes also super tight up behind KB Smith there. Actually, he has gotten past KB Smith there for just a moment. He was looking to the inside, and after a little mistake there, it's very easy to lose lots of positions. And then Bywater's here. That's the fight I was following for you earlier. That's a 38 drive against Tony Witten and 55 just ahead. Lots of ping in the Ferrari, but that won't bother him too much because he certainly has to get a move on. He wants to climb back into the top 10 here tonight. Craig Holmes also with an absolute fantastic run. That's the number 109 car here just ahead. That's the Saint Osina in this long train of cars revolving around position 6 and onwards. So that's a lot of cars there. Peter de Jong with a fantastic start here for himself. Finds himself in 8th place. Started 14th. So he's certainly been gaining earlier along this race. Such a long train of cars. You see that they're all just chasing each other, looking for any potential move, any sort of weakness to be exploited. And yeah, it's once again showing Group 2 and Group 3 fewer wrecks with muscle flex. I like that one. That's a fantastic one. It's a little too many incidents for my tastes, but all in all, it's part of racing, and they're certainly gonna be able to talk it out. These gentlemen drivers, they have got their manners, they've got everything sorted, and most important, Craig Holmes there, almost going for an involuntary move on Peter de Jong, who kind of was stopping on the track a little bit there. It seems like now he's got everything figured out in the ping pick and might actually go around the outside here, but no, but a little off pace it seems. Certainly super close, and let's jump to the front splitter here of the Porsche. And actually, I prefer the dash cam in this one. So the pink pig, we see it there, just very mildly, that color shining on through, and in the rearview mirrors, Craig Holmes still very close, as we're seeing Chris Baker actually take a field trip there. Let's have a look. Where did he go? Chris Baker? Hello? Baker? Where is this lad? Let's go back 30 seconds and have a look what happened to him. Here he is all good and dandy. Looks to go very far to the outside, and that's all he needs to send the car to the outside. Then number 10, Aston Martin, taking it the long way around. Start finish straight. Doesn't even feel like rejoining. He's just gonna mow the lawn for the longest time. When you look at that. So Chris Baker dropping to P15 then with this mistake. Ay, ay, ay. So up ahead here, Neil Bywater still couldn't find his way past Tony with the defense of the day. He's got it figured out, and he can certainly keep him behind for now, and looks like he doesn't have too many opportunities even though that Bywater's pace here and that number 38 Porsche sent off screen for you, he's got the pace. He just can't get the move done. And he's going to be stuck behind him for the longest time. Also, a little bit of a moment here. Craig Holmes had some slight oversteer on the exit and lost a couple of places, so he's down the order once again, just a little bit. And look how closely Porsche is getting under the brakes. It's just not quite enough to get something going here for Bywater. This very right-hand turn focus track, that is Snetterton here tonight. Bywater then chasing Carlo Vanderband as well as getting feisty with Mars Parnov up ahead in the fight for P10. We see it there in the bottom of your screen. The Team West Coast almost looking to the inside there. And by the looks of it, it's not going to happen this time around as they're now heading into this heavy braking zone for turn 3. That's going to be in Montreal and now down into Parma. We're seeing an inside Stern there looking to fight De Jong for position. That's not happening that time around. So very close field, but not too many overtaking opportunities as we are seeing a side-by-side here. Or just the shortest amount of time between De Jong and staying there. This pack of 4 were certainly exactly in the right spot where they want to be. If you're looking for some racing action, then very late on the brakes there. Looked like Carlo almost missed his braking point, but he can manage to get the Team West Coast Porca there to stop in time just ahead. My heart dropped into my pants there just a little bit. As you can probably tell. So Diamante then quickly following up with this here. I have Corsa driver number 51 is at the back of Terry Trowbridge, also moving up the field here. And this time around, he should be able to seek it to the inside. It's jumped to the helicam there. He backs out of it again. So many drivers at a quicker pace. Despite the qualifying and valiant efforts, it's been the first couple of race laps that decided their fate ultimately in this race. He once again is forced to back out and loses about 1 or 2 seconds of the sort of pace that could actually do. But really, he just can't, considering there's cars all around him. A bit further down the pack here, right now in position 20, Jürgen Walby. He's not where we would expect him to be at all, considering how he's currently P4 in the championship. The TF Sport Aston is way down the order, now looking to make something happen, just do a recovery drive and make the most out of this race. There's a car off to the side there. What was that? That's actually Alessandro Diamante who's completely spun it around. Let's go back 30 seconds in just a moment here and have a look what happened. Alessandro Diamante was doing fine in 17th after a slightly botched race start. We were hoping to see a recovery drive by the pilot in the Evo here, and he's not done so. Third gear is what we want to do as he completely loses the back end and is forced to rejoin in the most uncomfortable position and really just having to do a donut around the track then. So he's slowly settling back into things. It's not looking all that hot for the Ferrari here tonight. A little more hot and bothered is Mers Parnov, who actually had a moment as well with Rudolf Stein here. Both of them must have made contact just a little bit ago, so sorry about that. We're just jumping from replay to replay, but I don't want to miss this action. He's actually on the inside there already. So it's been quite a while since that has happened, and it looks like that might have been contact then with the Porsche. He's been fighting this whole time, Peter de Jong, number 23. Not sure what caused this incident, but what we know for sure is that Rudolf Stein now on his debut race finds himself at the back of the pack in 19th. It's definitely a bit of a rough one there for him, but he's got plenty of time to get back into things because 33 minutes of racing. This is exactly the sort of scenario where you can see what type of driver he actually is. If he's just gonna surrender, give up, or if he's gonna continue fighting, continue battling for positions and making the most out of this race. That's exactly what I would be hoping to see here tonight. Carlos, yeah, also having a very tough race. Lots of drivers with some early contact early moves. About 30 minutes here still to go. Jürgen Walby already talked about him, and you just see the problem of the sort of track. It's also one of the main reasons why you don't see it too many times in a rotation for lots of competitive series, because when you look at that, there's a big difference in terms of the pace that these drivers can do, but there's just no way past. The straights aren't long enough, the corners aren't wide enough. It's all just a single file festival as this conga line of cars makes its way down the British countryside. He's certainly looking. You can see that there's an entire array of opportunities that he would love to throw out. Adds Justice ahead of him. He knows he's got the racecraft, he's got the pace on him, I would assume, considering that he qualified so far ahead of in the order than the Ferrari 56 ahead of him. And he's doing a great job for defending Steve Justice, that is. I can't take that away from him. But look at that, he completely outbroke himself, forced to stop the car on the apex there. The Evo essentially blocking the track there for a brief point in time, as there's just no way for him to get past, despite the mistakes that the driver ahead is making. And you see it here as well, Rudolf Stein, he's trying to force a mistake out of Pornov ahead. Obviously, these two are definitely on the same sort of caliber in terms of their racing, but they're just gonna be stuck behind each other for the longest time now. Quick follow-up here in the fight between Sim Racing Montreal, number 12, and Craig Holmes is still on and cooking. This is exactly the pace difference that kind of brought them together here. A little bit, because last lap for Craig Holmes would have won 51.0, which is certainly not the pace that he actually wants to go on. These cars just slightly holding up each other at this point in time. Let's go back down the order and have a look what's happening up in the front. See how far he had. He's already in the track. Peter Wolfslehner. He said he didn't like the track, but, well, at least the track seems to like him instead. That's gotta do it for the number 196 car here. He's currently far ahead, and also with the fastest lap in the race, a 147.1. That's the sort of race pace that he's going to be looking at right now. Second position, not too far behind him, about 2 seconds separating these two drivers here. It's the FD Racing Department Aston of Andrea Caiola. Wonderful lap there. He's actually gaining just a little bit, about 3/10, but he'll have to consistently be at a super quick pace to get something done here. Just a quick follow-up side by side then for Rudolf Stein, and there's almost a bit contact there. 69, he's got the inside now. Can he make something with it? No, he cannot. Really rough from there. Carlo also with a quick follow-up chasing Peter de Jong, but I don't want to move away from the theme of going down this order all that much. You just see how much racing action is happening around. There's all sorts of valiant attempts, and there don't seem to be too many results from them, unfortunately, as there seemingly is a bit of contact there. Rudolf Stein looks to have either put on the pit limiter or something. Not sure what happened there. Let's go back 30 seconds and another quick look what happened to the Renault's Racing AMG driver here. It looks all good and dandy up until this point. Now on the brakes, looks like he's coming very close. First gear, and then the engine just doesn't go. Pulls over to the side. That's just no acceleration. Did he perhaps kill the engine by accident? Did he just turn off the engine mid-race? Oh, that's a rough debut race here. See, he falls back now into 20th position. So Rudolf Stein way down the order. So just a quick follow-up once again. Don't want to miss it, because Carlo was thinking about it. He's heard me talking about AMG driver Stein in the back of the pack for now, because that's exactly his cue to put on some more pace and potentially get past Peter de Jong, who already has some contact. Had some contact earlier during the race, so chances are there might be some extra bits and pieces of the aero department in the number 23 Porsche ahead. That might give him opportunities. Steve Justice and Craig Holmes also side by side, and while I'm currently watching these two Porsches fight for P8 here. It's very tight. So Cayola's still second. Looks like he lost a little bit on that lap as well. Look at the defense there. Swerving over to the side. And now with a cutback potentially. No, it looks like he can't keep it around the outside. But fantastic driving there by Peter de Jong and Carlo Vanderbrand. It's such a great defense. There's not much he can do despite all his efforts. Jorgen Walby here as well. And Dimitri Statis. I think he's actually gotten... That's one of the first few on-track overtakes I've seen here tonight. Or I've seen half of it, really. Because Jorgen Warby has gone past. He's got the move done, the TF Sport number 3, on the Ferrari driver of Dimitri Statis here. It's quite something. Quite something indeed. Actually, I've got to put this wonderful overlay back up for you, lads. There you go. Somebody should have told me. Yeah, Derek very consistent here tonight. But let's bring up the front of the pack once again. We've seen some fantastic fighting going on in between Vanderbrand and Peter de Jong here, but jumping to the front of the pack, Jonathan Wood, last lap at 28.8, which is right around the pace that he needs to be at to stay up at the front here. Currently third spot on the podium for him. That is Derek Bird chasing in the 701 there. You see him in the background right on there. Alistair Hughes here, center of frame for you. It's the Allen line, and it's bringing a train of cars with him there. P6 to KB Smith, then 7th for Noble, 8th is Peter de Jong ahead of Carlo. And let's follow this battle just a little bit, see if he can sneak a move up to the inside of the 23 this time. Not in range at all, so he'll actually pull out of it well ahead of the turn and just trailers brakes into here. Neil Bywater then, one of the plenty Porsches up at the front, is 10th and makes it 5 out of 10 cars from the German manufacturer here around Snetterton tonight. 25 minutes still to go. Chris Baker is P11 here, the Rotec Racing number 10. Then Tony Witten in the Haybarn 55. It's P13 right now for Terry Trowbridge, who had a slightly opportunistic move going against him, but he's doing just fine in 13th. He's actually gained 6 positions over the course of this race, so congratulations to him in that regard. Jorgen Walby has been doing great and definitely getting something from the plenty of collisions earlier during the race here. So he's currently in 14th in the TF Sport, where Dimitri Statis is the car that actually I was referring earlier. He was the one overtaken there after some slight mistakes. He's P15. Craig Holmes then started P13 and got himself involved in one of the incidents I was referring. Steve GB Justice, it's the Lotus D56 driver for you center of screen, that being chased by Alessandro Diamante, managed to qualify 7th, but apparently he can't. He doesn't have the opportunity to make too many points this race, as he's way down the order right now, just as Mos Paunov in 19th and Rudolf Stein with a rough debut for the driver in the number 14 here. Well, then up ahead, looks like there's been a battle brewing. Jonathan Wood not quite on the pace yet, and he's certainly now within striking distance, where any sort of mistake will allow Derek Bird, who is second in the championship, to get a move done here potentially. So Derek Bird definitely looking if he can get something going for himself there. Let's bring up the sector comparisons if we can. There you go. Let's bring that up for you. Personal fastest lap last time around for Derek Bird, and look at that. 2nd and 3rd sector personal fastest as well, and he's gaining big time. So Wood might be in big trouble here if he can't pick up the pace, because chances are Derek won't be waiting too long. He'll definitely try to pry open that defense of the USA Great Britain number 71. So almost looks like sister cars in the sense that there's the 71 and there's the 701. Wouldn't you believe it? Actually battling each other. So coming across the line, I'm gonna quickly hover over this this bottom right dialogue for you still to have a look, because when we're coming across the line, we're going to see that now he's actually in the bad air of the car ahead. Derek Bird now just slightly losing. He's got a fastest first sector for himself, but outside of that, not too much improvement. I do have to turn my attention, though, to this battle right there for position number 7 here. As well, these two seem to be busy with each other, just as Peter de Jong, there we have him, is still defending heavily. The camera is trying to figure it out, trying the outside, then he goes, Van Brabant stopping just in time, but it's not enough to get a move done. He'll have to get more creative than that, perhaps try a pass on the grass without touching Peter's ass. There we go, that's a rhyme and a half. So he'll have to certainly get creative to get around the pink pig polka of Peter. Yeah, I'm on a roll, aren't I? Derek, yeah. New triple screens for Derek, interesting. I wonder what sort of hardware lots of these front runners are actually using. This Derek is doing just fine with the new setup, it seems. And Sandro is wearing the battle for P17 very close. Let's not lose focus here though, because the best battle is certainly on our hands in this train between Nobel, De Jong and Van Brabant. I do have to keep in mind that both Bywater and Carlo were starting P3 and 4 respectively, so they've fallen down the order and looking to recover as many points as possible. Now Alessandro had a bit of a moment there. Let's go to the helicam, because it was temporarily 3 wide. He's still ahead of Justice, it seems. No, actually he's just in the center of the screen now. There's a 51, that's a red and white Ferrari chasing the 56, which has the colorful, well, what do I compare that with? Green and orange. Is there a fruit, green and orange? Probably there is. It's still like a fruity Fanta design. I'll call it that for now. But yeah, they've been going at it after losing some time. They're basically a concertina effect battle happening right on there. Track is still optimum and getting a little warmer. 28 degrees out there with all the cars. The tires will certainly be fuming after they're forced to go for the long left-hander. Right-hander actually. That is the Coram turn. It's a 90-degree turn, but it's probably the longest 90 degrees you've ever driven if you have had the pleasure of experiencing the British GT pack here. Not too many position changes. Once again, I'm somewhat repeating myself. They're very close. It's good fighting, but really there isn't too much action on the track now, is there? Only car really managing to get something out of it is Carlo, because he's gone from a P16 at some point now back up the order, and potentially, let's have a look up at the front here in just 1 second here as well. Looks like there's no move for now, and they're probably going to go single file now down the straight here. Peter de Jong, and that's with Van Brabant very much in his mirrors. Super tight up at the front, and the only car that's really able to get away from the action is Peter Wolfslehner, who's got himself a comfortable 4.5 second lead to Caiola in second. So he's definitely driving away. 47.4, which is only 3/10 of the quickest lap, and almost just it's actually just a 10th slower than Caiola's fastest overall time. So he's absolutely flying out there, and if that is the sort of performance you're seeing from someone who doesn't like the track, I wonder what it's going to look like when he just absolutely loves the track in the rotation here. It gets you thinking now, doesn't it? Was White car the white car, or is there someone named White who I don't know of? Chances are that there might have been a white car on the grass, but there could be Alistair or could be Neil Bywater in the background here. But honestly, I don't really know if that was the case at all. So a bit of a moment. Miss Paunov has dropped back on the last lap. You're going to see it in just 1 second. Last lap of 56, so he's lost 10 seconds there. Something must have happened just now to Wolfslehner too. He's lost about a second on the exit there. Must have had a scruffy run into the bombshell corner. Didn't catch it on stream, Peter. I'll try to be quicker next time to spot any sort of mistake in the alien drive that we're seeing once again up at the front here in the number 196. Fantastic close racing here too. Let's actually bring up the rear wing camera of the AMG here, and you're gonna see how close these Porsches are gonna be getting with the extra downforce, with the ton of aero. These lads are probably running, you see, under the brakes here as well, super tight, and the rear end gets all sort of squarely there for David Noble's Ultima Racing AMG. He's got himself such a fight at hand, and the only reason I feel like why he's being overtaken is the fact that Carlo is quicker, at least for Sector 2, than Peter in the background, or Sector 1. He's just fighting so much, and that basically means they're going to be going defensive and they can't look forwards. If you have to look into your rear view mirrors half of the time you're driving on track, there's just no way you'll be really looking to the car ahead. So David Noble is going to be very happy with the scenario he currently finds himself in. Also fast forward to what is happening here. Carlo once again around the outside. Can he maybe do a switch back? He goes for the wide line, and that might be the one and only opportunity he's gonna get around to the inside. He goes then side by side between Carlo and Peter as he's taking the head-on dive to the inside for what some people call Hamilton corner, but now to turn 6 they go together as there's big contact, little nudge and then some. So they're heading around into Williams, and he's gonna be fuming. Carlos had the move, but it's not meant to happen this time around as he slots back in behind him. Look at the difference here. It's going all the way to the outside, and it looks like Peter recognized. He might have had the stream on as well, so he's going for a quick. He's trying to confess his sins to the grass on the outside there, it seemed. He's falling back now and giving that 7th position to the Team West Coast driver, Carlo, who's looking mighty fine with the move done. So it was a bit of a rough one. Maybe he'll go back into the replay and have a look if there could have been contact avoided. Either way, despite the collision, he's doing just fine. So is Derek Bird here. It looks like the Porsches really are the one and only cars who are able to make big progress throughout the grid here, because we're seeing them once again represented with 5 cars in the top 10, which is basically all the active Porsches are. So certainly a track where they're shining all the way through here. Now Derek here, it's actually jumped to the dash cam. Have a look at this 701 chasing, and it's so close, but there's not much you can do here. Throughout this entire section, you're bound to basically be chasing. They're gonna get you onto the Bentley straight, and look at that. The dirty air on the entry basically ruins your exit. So, yeah, it's exactly the sort of reason why there's not too many overtakes, despite the long straight. You're just bunching the car up so much here and onto the brakes. Now this next right-hander, this is so single file too. There's not much you can do despite any sort of mistake from drivers ahead. You're just going to be looking at their rear wing and smelling the exhaust pipe while they're going to be driving away into the sunset, because that's a no-go overtake. Quick follow-up with the front there. Peter Wolfslehner right on about the pace. He lost a little bit of his gap, 3.5 seconds to Caiola, but that doesn't mean all that much in the great picture considering how consistent both of these drivers are. Let's bring up the timetable. He actually gained on the last lap, only losing a little in the first sector. So Peter's still very much in control of this race at all times. He's doing a fantastic job up at the front, and a third sector, basically almost all sectors at least matching, if not quicker. So very, very respectable pace here up at the front. Follow up here with Alistair Hughes and Bywater. Looks like Bywater got the move done. Let's go back 30 seconds, because that must have been a mistake by the number 16 Bentley driver. Because he got past quite quickly. Let's go to the alley cam and get a better view of that. He's on the inside here already, and that means he's forced to concede the line. Looks like he completely lifted ahead of the turn, so there must have been some commotion before this, causing this sort of easy overtake that you don't really see up at the front. But Neil Bywater then into 9th, where Alistair drops back to P10. Alessandro Diamante then in his number 51, fighting against Craycom's closest battle for you right now on track. It seems that they're very much at the same pace, if not the Ferrari being a little faster. To the inside he goes then. Oh, that almost looked like he really wanted to go for a move there, because that Bentley outside door seems certainly scraped. Not to consider the fact that he's been a bit of a rough one. So Craig Holmes originally, if you do recall, Craig Holmes started in P13 and was 9th at some point, but he's been forced to drop back quite significantly, yeah? After... Well, was it really some early race contact, or was it just an incident in itself? Either way, we know for a fact that right now he's being chased, and to the inside he goes then. Alessandro forces the Bentley out wide as he's going onto the grass, and that's going to be a spin right there for Craig Holmes, who finds himself in the runoff for the fast right-hander at the end of Bentley Straight. This Nelson corner is certainly a tough one to get right. You have to spot the breaking point, and when you're being chased like that, looks like the pressure got to him. The nerves seemingly are getting out of hand for a brief moment, and he's lost that position and finds himself way back at the end of the pack. And I'm currently chasing around because there seem to be some gaps opening and closing. For example, Rudolf staying against Ms. Paunov here. It's way down the order, but still, it's going to be an interesting battle. To the inside he goes then. Doesn't look like he's got much time at all, and he's being given the opportunity. Served on a silver platter by Paunov there in the 69, who just leaves the door open and lets him go past quite easily. So up into 18th then for Rudolf Stein, who, as I was talking about it earlier, despite the incident, despite being spun around, he's gotten everything. He's got overtakes. I think he's been tapped. He's tapped someone. He's spun. And he's... Oh, sure, I do have to bring your attention back to that. I think he turned on the engine at some point during this race, while in first gear. So he's had a little of everything. And that's for sure. Carlo. Oh, Carlo. Weren't you a little further ahead just a little moment ago? Carlo, don't tell me you just dropped from 8th into 11th. Ay. Looks like the number 4 kind of undoing its progress there a little bit. And dropping back down the order there, a bit of an unfortunate second half here, apparently for Carlo. He's been doing mighty fine, but now he's dropped back the order quite significantly and finds himself behind Chris Baker and most importantly outside of the top 10 for the time being. Yeah, he's dropped back 3 positions here, that's for sure. Definitely tough after the mistake on the last lap. You see it there, last lap 2 of 4 by Carlo. It's not exactly what he was looking for now, is it? Let's have a look where that happened. Must have been in the first sector as well. Yeah, look at that. It's a big time loss. 50 seconds is not really what you usually do in terms of the pace, and certainly not what Carlo does around the first sector most of the time here. So very few cars out on track who are able to actually improve on their PBs, and rare exception of that is David Noble. He's been doing fantastic pace. 48.8 is exactly what he needs. Jonathan Wood also on fantastic pace too. He's currently up 4 tenths on his personal best, despite being almost 40 minutes into these tires. He's looking to bring this right on home. He's chasing KB Smith, who is very much in striking distance there, especially if he keeps on making little mistakes here and there. Just saw him do that. So coming across the line, David Noble, he's gaining big time. 48.2. That's the second quicker and the 555 Ferrari ahead, so there might be a battle coming up on the long in maybe 1 or 2 laps time. So that might be 5 minutes at most until we're watching that. So P7 to P11. Yeah. Derek also closing the gap from P3. Yeah. Derek doing alright. It's about 1.8 seconds, which means he's neither in the bad air nor on the slipstream for any of the straights. He's kind of in a little limbo here. Let's focus on him for a brief moment here. So Derek Bird, that is the number 701 car here, center of screen for you. Got the DBK here down the Bentley straight, and in the background you can see what Wood is doing, and perhaps Wood is also looking in the rearview mirror here and there. It's not too much time separating the two, but really it feels like they're both just focusing on their respective race pace at the given point in time. Because that is exactly what they should be doing, just looking ahead. The only way to escape being in a position to fight here for the final step on the podium is for Jonathan Wood really to just bring the pace hammer down. Let's have a quick look. When they come across the line and compare their sector times, 48.5 and 48.5. Look how close it is between these two. So first and second sector belonging to Derek Bird, but it's lost most of that advantage coming into the final sector. So he might, if he has the stream open in the background, which I hope he does, he might hear that, and he's gonna try and push it a little harder into this final sector so that he can actually close the gap, which is extended to about 2 seconds right now. Well, then here we go then. Carlo Vanderband to the inside there of Baker, and it's not a somewhat of a deja vu move. We have different liveries on the cars, but it's once again a Porsche. It's actually an Aston opening up the door. Last time it was an AMG going through of Stain, but this time around it seems to actually be Carlo who's being presented with the 10th place there. He says, "Thank you very much, Chris. I'll be taking that and moving on." Battle of the Astons. TF Sport, only 5 minutes to go. Time is flying by for Sean here in the race here tonight. It's the number 3 of Jorgen Walby against Trowbridge. Looks like it's not the fantastic track for Walby here. He's sort of mid-pack, both in pace and current track position. So chances are he will have to look back as this race as a one-off, because Jorgen, as you know, he's been doing very consistent top pace here. For example, he got second in Barcelona the first round and third in Donington. While he was forced to miss Brands, he's been doing well throughout the season, and he's matching Cayola, who's currently in second place in terms of the points. Because he's doing just fine, but this time it's not really the sort of race that he was hoping for at all. Chances are he'll have to refocus a little bit at the end of this. Continue fighting, that's most important here. Want to perhaps get that move on Trowbridge done. That would be a nice confidence boost towards the end of the race here for him. Neil Bywater here. So once again, it's another Porsche trying to get past here. And it's the same sort of defense we're seeing from Peter de Jong all weekend long. He's had to concede the position to Carlo, who's now in 10th behind him. So chances are he won't give up the 7th spot of his so easily this time around. He'll have to make he'll make Neil Bywater in that 38 behind him work for it. He certainly will make him put in his all if he wants to get past, because that 7th position is his little trophy he's got in his hands, and he won't have it easily taken away from himself. A little bit of racing help here in the chat. Love to see it. If you can. If you are enjoying the stream, by the way, forgot to mention it all evening. I've been so spoiled with the race action here tonight. Make sure that you do drop a like, and if you aren't subscribed yet, then I don't know what's happening, because this sort of race action is going to be brought to you every Sunday here in the eSeniors. They've got plenty of leagues. You've got GT3, GT4, so I hope you check it out on their Discord, on their website, Facebook even too, if you will. It's a wonderful community and some fantastic drivers. We're seeing Neil Bywater and getting so close and friendly, feistly. You forgot the like, Nikos. You gotta. That's what I'm here for. Gotta remind you to get that in. And once again, he's got the inside here. Peter de Jong will be defensive, coming to this tight right hand. Now that's Montreal. Now down the hill, they're gonna go into Palmer. That's your turn 4. Wow, wow, wow. All right, these lads are super close. Just use this opportunity actually. Hop on board to the dash cam. Look how close this is going to get. Very defensive here. Perhaps around the outside. He'll give it a try. Neil Bywater still has the card of Peter there. He can't get the move this time. But you see how much he's trying. Just hoping that there's going to be an inch that he's going to take. He's going to grab that, hold on to it, and fight for position all race long. Rudolf Stein also in a fantastic spot right now to get a move done. Let's jump on over here around the outside. He'll give it a try, but the Renault's racing can't really find the grip on the outside there, so he'll be behind GB Justice. That's actually Steve in that 56 ahead of him. He's still holding on, but back to the action I was talking about where Neil, he's made a relapse, a grass relapse to the outside. He's gone, and that sort of bombshell has got him starstruck and looking, gasping for air as he's now dropped back about 2 seconds behind Peter. So not too many opportunities still left in this race. Carlos also very tight, and he might get a run here on Hughes. Alistair, he's been doing mighty fine in the second half of the race, now coming under pressure from the Porsche number 4. He was up ahead, fell back after a mistake that cost him 3 positions. Now Carlo is hoping to get something going for himself once again. I'll quickly bring up the track map and have a look if we'll see another lap here. It looks like we just might not. It might be very close when our leader, not quite pole sitter, but he's got himself P2. We know who, you know who we are talking about. It's obviously Peter Wolfsley and the number 196 Ferrari driver, and he's doing a great job here. Let's have a quick look if he'll actually make it across the line in time so that we see another lap of the race. He could, I think, wait up and just take the checkered flag here, or he could risk the biscuit and extend this one more time for another lap. Let's see what happens. 3, 2, 1, checkered flag. No, he's half a second before that would have been the checkered flag for him. He comes across the line. That means there's lots more opportunities. Jorgen Walby, Carlo Verberband, Neil Bywater, they're all trying to go for a position right now. And that's exactly the sort of late fight. And we have him going out wide once again there. And that's in turn seems to be a bit of a struggle for the 38 Porsche here, especially considering that he's as close as he is. It isn't a big surprise, but he wants to get a move done. He'll have to figure that one out, and he's got just one more lap to get the job done here. Carlos seemingly got past Alistair Hughes. He's made a mistake and forced to concede that 9th position to the number 4 driver here. It makes it 5 Porsches in the top 9 then. Now Walby also in a very compromising position. Putting Trowbridge in a somewhat compromising position as they're now heading to the final sector for the second to last time. Just hop on board here, actually, with the rear wing cam of Trowbridge. There you go, last lap of 50.5, which is not the sort of pace that Jorgen wants to be going at, I feel like. And look how he's closing on his run into turn 1 and 2. Sorry, I had a sneeze there. Apologies for that. Slightly sideways then for Trowbridge. And again, the run is so short until the next single file turn that there's no way for Warby to get past here at all. Now Wolfsliner might have regretted his decision at some point during his lap because he lost some time, but there he is. Peter Wolfsliner coming across the line, checkered flag, that's the race win. He's been up there, he's done the pace, he's done a fantastic job, got himself P1. Andrea Caiola had the drop on him in quali, but it wasn't enough. Race session has proven him to be superior there. Jonathan Wood then finishing third. It's Derek Bird in fourth. The 701 DBK then coming across the line in just 1 second. P5 just ahead of Noble, not by much, despite a late race mistake there. He manages to bring home 5th. KB Smith. It's David Noble then 6th place, the Ultima Racing number 2, where Peter de Jong has been fighting all race. He's been up and down the order. He's definitely been within a super exciting race, and it looks like Neil Bywater had a moment which leaves Carlo in 8th, then Alistair 9th, and Neil only 10th. You see the hood popped open just in time for him there to finish 10th. Chris Baker, you see him in the background, that's in blue, number 10, where Tony Whitten finishes P12. It's going to be Terry Trowbridge chased across the line. Jorgen Warby is side by side by the looks of it, not quite there. To get a drop on him, P13, that is for the number 97 car there. Jorgen Warby is 14th here tonight. Dimitri started same story here against Alessandro Diamante. Checkered flag, he'll take that, he'll actually drop the car into there. Hopefully no parts of the flag have been encased there in the front run there. 15th then for him. Diamante goes 2 picks, 16. Rudolf Stein finished P17 on his debut race. It's going to be Steve GB Justice to 18th, Paunov 19th, and Holmes finishing P20. Well, here we go then. What an action-packed race that it was. It feels like we barely even got started, and certainly something. Get in there, Johnny, yeah. It's, Wolf can really tune that Ferrari. Very much agreed, Stefan. It's super difficult to get it just right, and obviously he's putting in the work. He said that it's not his favorite track at all. We'll have him in the commentary booth here in just a hot moment. I think they might already be waiting. I don't see them. Yeah, so if you are out there watching one of the drivers, go get yourself in the green room for a quick interview here. The 1, 2, 3, the front runners, that's what I want to see up at the front. Alrighty then. Peter is in here. We'll bring him in for just a second. Caiola as well, he finished 2nd. Hughes did good as well, yeah. He was down the order quite a bit, and then he managed to pull through. But that Group 1 has been fighting all race really. It's super tight action, super jam-packed with fantastic moves, but the track it's just so narrow, it's so hard to even get side by side and then just getting an overtake. It's such short straights, very much single file for a lot of the lap. So I feel like we're just gonna have 2 drivers in for the interviews. Sorry to move you out of there, Andrea. Congratulations on your P2 finish. You had the pole, but he was already gone at the end of lap 1. It felt like. What happened?
Yeah, I mean, as usual, I'm not very good at the start.
Oh, don't say that.
The Aston doesn't help, but also the man who is sitting on the seat and between the wheel is not really great at that as well. So area of improvement for sure. But even with that, Peter had consistently 3 to 4 to 2 tenths more than me, so he would have,
he did have the pace, but obviously there's mistakes coming into play as well. We had a couple of moments, and it felt like while you were slightly off the pace, you were super consistent with the way that you were taking on the track. Do you feel like that there's a certain training routine you can do to sort of get to that Caiola level of consistency?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's his track, and I think for many others, we started practicing 5 days ago, 7 days ago. So yeah, definitely, I did not want to take risks. So I put on my pace. I knew that I could end the race the place. Did not
Right.
want to ruin everything. So that's it.
So you finished ahead of your championship rivals, so to say, Eklund and Bird, which means you'll be moving up the table. Now, next week we have, obviously, Paul Ricard. How do you feel about that?
I like the track. I feel that Aston could make the difference there, and that's to the high velocity, high speed bands.
Right.
Let's see. So I'm hoping. I'm trying to keep the championship alive. Because Peter is trying to kill it. So,
yeah, we gotta slap
with
some.
2-0 already. Of course, now I need really to maximize each and every race.
Yeah, I think you're doing a fantastic job. Chad also agrees with me there. So on to some more races for you, Andrea. Fantastic drive tonight as well. But obviously we have to talk to Peter out there. Herzlichen Glückwunsch once again. It's how many races won is that? 5 now, I think.
Hello, and thanks for the congratulations. I think 4 or something.
Yeah, you got Barcelona, Bathurst, Brands, and Olden under your belt with Snetterton now becoming your fifth win in the season.
Okay. Now Andrea has a Donington, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, it was at the track I have been most afraid of, since this track has so many hidden curbs, and it's easy to lose time or spin or whatever. I have been just lucky today. That's all.
Right.
And I was a little bit. If Andrea, I don't know what happened during the start. Right after the start, we have been head to head. I was looking to be in the box, in the starting box, in the grid. And then suddenly, I think Andrea recognized he's a little bit too fast, so he slowed down, and then immediately came the green light. So this was the decision-making process. I couldn't have passed him. We are same speed. So I just had lucky that I was lucky on that. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Andrea will be biting the wheel when he has another start like that. But obviously, it's well followed up, and you did have the pace. So it's once again such a fantastic drive, start to finish with few mistakes. I tried to spot some, but I had difficulty doing so.
No, there have been several. Actually, this track is difficult, and I just try to avoid all the curbs, because the curbs are really hurting the tires. So you can have pressure loss very easy. And I just watched to the time delta, and I made some mistakes, and then suddenly Andrea there, so we are pretty same speed on this track.
Yeah, I think
he could also have he would also have deserved this due to the qualifying lap.
Right.
He was number 1. Congratulations, Andrea.
Yeah, so fantastic drive by the both of you. I'll leave you to have a quick chat at the end. So this has been it. This has been round number 6 tonight. It's your GT3 eSeniors winner Peter Wolfslehner for tonight, as well as your finishing second Andrea Caiola. They're doing a fantastic job out there. If you're looking to join this community, make sure you check out the Discord there. Obviously very very welcoming to any and all new drivers. We've had the debut race as well, so it's so great to have the opportunity here. I hope you've enjoyed the stream, and to you, a warm rest of your Sunday evening. I'm Nicholas Kraus.
Thank you.
And I'll see you again for next week Sunday.
Thank you very much. And, thanks for streaming, and thanks for the interview. Thank you very much.
Of course, no worries.
Andrea,